Hi there. All over the world, we hear stories about dolphins rescuing drowning people. This has long been known and well documented. But, as it turns out, they are not the only deep-sea friends of mankind. During a dive, this diver was in a situation where her whole life flashed before her eyes. But what happened next took her by total surprise. Marine biologist Nan Hauser has devoted 28 years of her life to the study of life in the sea and ocean. During her 28 years, she's took part in numerous expeditions to Cook Island and the Bahamas. While working, her favorites have always been dolphins and whales. Through the efforts of this region, the waters have acquired the status of a whale reserve. On her recent diving trip with a snorkel and a mask, it turned out to be a real shock for her, which became the most extraordinary in all of her considerable experience in deep-sea exploration. One completely normal day, Nan went out on a boat into the waters near Cook Island for a planned dive. Just a few minutes after she entered the water, she noticed a massive figure heading toward her. The quickly approaching figure turned out to be a male humpback whale. To understand the situation, we need to point out the fact that these animals weigh on average 30 tons and have a length of up to 52 feet. Of course, the size of the animal is capable of capturing the imagination of the layman, but it is not something out of the ordinary for an experienced diver. The danger of the situation is not the size, but the behavior of the whale. Humpback whales are usually friendly towards people. So, at first, Hauser was not afraid of the inappropriate behavior of the unexpected companion. The only thing that worried her was that she could not understand the motivation and the reasons for his actions. However, further events made the biologist frightened. In her studies, Nan tends to avoid direct contact with the whales, except when they need help, such as being sick or stranded. But this whale himself went out of his way to make bodily contact. Instead of, as Nan suggested, a swim past, the animal came close to her. Without leaving the diver alone, the whale approached until Hauser was on his head. After, he laid her on his pectoral fin, and at some point, he even lifted her out of the water. It lasted about 10 minutes, which seemed like an eternity for Nan. Nan had no equipment, wetsuit, or flippers. Nan only had a mask and a snorkel, so she seriously began to fear for her life. The crew in the boat could not help with the situation. Firstly, it is difficult to somehow distract the 30-ton giant, and secondly, the team was busy videotaping the event. Operators and other crew members, due to the lack of experience, did not immediately understand how strange the whale was behaving. At the same time, Nan could not express her panic because she was afraid that the whale would sense this and the situation would worsen. However, soon everything fell into place. As it turned out, Nan and the whale were not the only members of this drama that played out in the water. In the distance, the diver noticed another whale. He moved strangely and kept hitting the water with his tail. When Nan managed to escape from the first whale and look around, she saw a third figure and assumed it was another whale. However, she soon realized that she was mistaken. The movement of the tail from the third figure was from the right to the left, completely uncharacteristic of whales. And right then, Nan recognized one of the most terrible predators of the ocean, the tiger shark. So, the threat to Hauser's life became even worse. In the end, Nan and the operator managed to miraculously climb aboard the boat. Once they got Nan in the boat, they began to examine the damage to Nan, possibly inflicted by the whale, and only then, once she was safe, Nan Hauser realized the true motives of the whales. Later, while watching the video of the encounter with the whales, Nan became firmly established in her conclusions. The first whale tried to shield her from the predator in the same way that the whales hide their young, while the second whale frightened and disoriented the shark. Nan had heard about this type of whale behavior before, but this was in regard to saving other types of whales and dolphins. This was the first time a scientist had encountered a whale saving a person. Hauser hopes that the material captured by her team will help other biologists in studying whales and to help ordinary people understand these amazing animals and the awareness of their sympathy to the world around them. Shouldn't we learn from them? What do you think? Write in the comments. And here is another small story about our ocean friends. This man was standing on the beach enjoying the view when he suddenly saw a strange sea creature in the distance. He wanted to move closer to understand what it was. Just then, this mysterious guest began to move towards him at an incredible speed. The man did not yet understand what was happening, and then he suddenly felt something holding his leg. On August 10, 2014, an unusual video took the internet by storm. The footage was a wild sea animal swimming off the coast. The video was captured by one of the holidaymakers on the beach of Vancouver Island, British Columbia. One man was standing in the shallow water when suddenly a mysterious creature from the depths became interested in him and began to swim closer. All of the people around did not know what kind of animal could move so quickly and swim so well. Many began to take out their cell phones and shoot what was happening, in hopes of looking at the creature later on camera. However, a man standing on the shore could not resist his curiosity and began moving towards the creature. Surprisingly, the sea dweller first showed interest and swam to the feet of the man. At first, the man was a little frightened, but further developments surprised all those present. Just imagine a wild animal not attacking a person at all, but rather began to behave like an ordinary dog, which is waiting for the owner to scratch his stomach. Many vacationers began to be touched by what was happening, but some advised to be careful. The man himself, despite his concern, decided to get to know the mysterious inhabitant more closely. He gently leaned toward him and began to stroke it. In fact, this unexpected guest was the usual marine otter, and with her antics, it attracted more and more people to the beach. She didn't seem at all embarrassed by such a large number of spectators and felt quite comfortable in their presence. Moreover, she allowed her new friend to play with her. The man was not against it at all, so the animal began to actively study him and even tried to climb on his back. It all looked quite harmless. The beast bit her new acquaintance only once, but judging by his reaction, it was not at all painful. While the sea creature was tweaking on his leg, other vacationers began to excitedly give comments. They argued that a wild animal is still dangerous, so you need to be extremely careful. Fortunately, this time the otter only wanted to play, and after she was tired, she went back to the sea. And sailing away on her back, she looked at her new acquaintance as if saying goodbye to him. Such a finale made the video a viral hit on social networks. Based on the events that occurred, scientists have expressed their views on the situation. An expert on marine mammals at the Vancouver Aquarium said in August of the same year how to behave when meeting wild animals. She argues that people should stay away, as it is first and foremost about safety for themselves. Intimacy with otters and other marine mammals may not take place in such a friendly atmosphere as in the situation on the beach. A protective instinct works for many of these creatures, and how they will behave is completely unpredictable. It can be very dangerous. And how would you behave during a meeting with a sea otter? Write in the comments. And that's all for today. Don't forget to put like if you like this video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.